welcome to the Adelaide Cottage podcast. My name is Shauna, and you can find me on Instagram and on Ravelry and on Facebook as Adelaide Cottage. The Facebook group is called Adelaide Cottage Yarns, and we also have a website where we sell our hand-dyed yarns, and that's AdelaideCottageYarns.com. So everything will be in the down bar for you so that you don't have to search too much. Welcome to any new and returning viewers. I appreciate that you're spending some of your precious time with me. This is going to be a shorter episode. I'm trying to do shorter ones more frequently just so that I can just be in touch with everybody and let you know what I've been working on and what I've finished. I do have a couple of finished objects this week. You might see me glaring down at my notes, so I apologize for that. But one thing I want to announce is our Harry Potter blanket cal. It's an ongoing blanket making knit along that will go through to September of this year. So it's still plenty of time to join in if you haven't already. You can find a thread in my Ravelry group as well as one in the Knitting Broomstick group on Ravelry, which will also be linked. Basically, you have to knit with Harry Potter themed yarns, at least 300 grams, or knit a Harry Potter blanket pattern, something that is titled a Harry Potter reference. So it's lots of fun. We drop prizes every 3 months, and we have another winner, which I've already chosen. We're drawing 2 winners for each check-in, and I will announce that winner shortly. I'm enjoying a nice hot cup of coffee today from my new Nespresso machine, which I love. I just actually got home from having brunch with my aunt, and I had coffee there, but I wanted another cup because it is a very, very snowy day here in Western New York. I'm in a suburb of Buffalo with my husband and our 2 young boys and our 2 cats. And the snow is just amazingly beautiful. I'm going to try to get some footage to show you. I get comments frequently about, it was mostly on Vlogmas, from people who don't see snow on a regular basis, if not at all, so they really enjoyed those little snippets. So I will try to include some of that footage for you. Okay, so before I forget, I'm just going to announce the winner. The second winner of the Harry Potter cal, and that winner is Ine, who is Nina of the This Old Knit podcast. It was post number 7. So contact me, Nina, and I will let you know which prizes you have to choose from, because I will be mailing this prize out to you. So Nina has like I said, the This Old Knit podcast, and she's been participating in the cal since the beginning. So congratulations, Nina. I was very excited to see your name. So we still have lots of prizes to give away for the next check-in, and don't worry if you forgot the first check-in, you can still participate in the cal by checking in the next time. The new Harry Potter mini sets will be available for pre-order on February 1st at AdelaideCottageYarns.com. They are very limited in amount, so I would recommend checking out the site that day. I will post a more specific time that they'll be available on Instagram stories, probably a day or 2 before the 1st. February 1st is also the next check-in for the Harry Potter blanket cal, so keep that in mind. That will be in the Knitting Broomstick Ravelry group. And you have an entire month to check in, so winners will be chosen on March 1st, and that thread will close then. Okay, so finished objects. I have a pair of finished socks, which are my vintage Fairy Light socks. You've probably seen them 1,000,001 times, but this is a pattern by Helen Stewart of Curious Handmade, and I absolutely love them. The yarn is hedgerow yarns in the Twinkly Lights colorway, I believe. So pretty. I followed the pattern exactly with the same amount of cast on stitches, and they fit me perfectly. And the yarn has a bit of silver stellina in it. So I'm very happy that these are done so that I can enjoy them. They've been on the needles forever. I don't know why. But as I mentioned in my last episode, I believe I'm going to be focusing on one sock project, one shawl project, one sweater project, and then possibly a smaller item at a time. No more than one pair of socks or one shawl. So now that I've finished a pair of socks, I can cast on a new pair. But I also have another sock finished, my first sock. And I was knitting on these in Harry Potter World. So they're quite special. So I suppose before casting on a new pair of socks, I should finish this lingering lip. But the first sock is finished. These are for Jason, my husband. This is AdelaideCottage yarns in the Game of Quidditch colorway. And the cuff was knit with spin monkeys and with a mini that she gifted to me our first year in Rhinebeck, I believe. So I cast on 60 stitches for him, I believe, on a US size 0. My other socks are US size 0 as well. And I did fish lips kiss heel for this sock and used Kitchener to close the toe. But I'm happy with this one. I definitely have second sock syndrome with this though. I'm itching to cast on a new pair of socks with yarn that I will show you in just a minute and tell you why I want to cast on with that yarn. But I think I'm going to hold off and finish the second sock before I do that. I have to stick to my rules, otherwise they'll go right down the drain. The third thing that I finished is the shirt that I'm wearing. This is the Lark tee by Grainline Studios. I took a class at our local sewing center with a friend of mine. Completely made, I shouldn't say completely, 95% done with the serger. So I picked out a blend of wool and polyester, I believe, from Joann Fabrics. I didn't want to get anything too fancy because I wasn't sure if it would turn out okay. I don't know if I have the pattern close by. I don't. There are many different necklines to choose from, sleeve lengths, and things like that. So I chose the boat neck because I feel like that's most flattering on me. I don't prefer to wear V-necks or scoop necks that much. So I chose the boat neck and 3/4 length sleeves. And everything was done with my serger, which is so easy to use. I don't know why I was so afraid of threading the darn thing for the last 2 years. The machine literally sat there collecting dust because I was afraid to thread it. So I watched the video that it came with, and I was able to thread the machine in less than 20 minutes And not only that, but in the class the following day, because yes, I waited till the night before my class to learn how to thread my serger, because you have to bring your own serger with you. The very next day at the class, I was able to help somebody with that very same machine thread the machine, because she had never used it before. It was given to her as a gift, and she just brought it brand new in the box, and the woman there wasn't too familiar with that specific brand and model, so I was able to help her thread it and get it going, so that felt really good. But this is the shirt. I really love the way that it came out. So like I said, it's done with the serger. The only thing that is not are the edges of the sleeves, the neckline, and the bottom hem. Those, I just want to make sure this isn't inside out. I hope you can hear me okay. Those are just folded inward. You can, I serged them first, then I folded inward and then just ran a top stitch along all the way around it with my sewing machine as soon as I got home. So yeah, I really love the way it came out. I had to shorten it because I'm not short, but the pattern is pretty long. I can't even show it to you all on the camera, but I'll insert a picture so that you can see it a little bit better. It's perfect to wear with leggings or a skirt or jeans or anything. So next time I make one of these, which I am going to make another, I'm going to pick up some cozy, this is a jersey, some cozy, almost like a sweatshirt material so that I can make a nice cozy sweater. The last thing that I finished is a quilt. You guys might remember this from over the summer because I started it when my aunt and uncle's dog was diagnosed with cancer. I wanted to make them like a, I don't know, like a comfort quilt, if you will. And I house sat for them in the summer while the dog was kind of in doggy hospice at home because they had to go out of town for one of their children's weddings. And spent some time with that dog, and he was so sweet, and so I really wanted to make them a quilt. So it's finished, and I'm going to give it to them the next time that I see them. So this is what it looks like. The colors that they have in their living room are gray, blue, and like a yellowish gold. So I did a race quilt and backed it with this yellow fabric. And then I hand stitched the binding all around. And this is an organic cotton, I believe, from Joann Fabrics. And this was a jelly roll, and I don't remember it was so long ago, I don't remember the name. I'm sure I mentioned it in a previous episode, but I really love the way that it came out. These are their living room colors, like I said. So yeah, I'm gonna fold this up and give it to them. I'll probably see them in early February, so they'll be able to enjoy it for the last part of the winter. Actually, winter is a long time here in Buffalo. Last year we had winter all the way through April. It was snowing through April. The whips that I have going I only have one, I think, other than the sock that I just showed you. Oh no, I have another one. But the one that I wanted to show you was the test knit shawl. Unfortunately, that's not finished yet, so I can't show it this week, hopefully next week. One show that we are obsessed with and have binged all of the seasons since, when did we start it? It must have been over the summer. And just finished the last season before the final season airs in April, which is not on Netflix, but I'm all out of order, is Game of Thrones. I mentioned it in a Vlogmas, I think, that I was watching it. And a couple people commented, like, what do you think of it? I heard it's very violent. Yes, it is. And I think typically, like when I read books or watch movies, I prefer the ones that are not so violent. It just makes me queasy. I don't even watch the news because it bothers me so much, all of the bad news that's on there. I have my husband kind of let me know things that I need to know, like about the country and political things that are happening, because the local things, and I don't know, it just bothers me. I feel too emotional when I watch it. Like, I feel too empathetic. And those stories will linger in my brain and just make me feel sick. When there's child abuse or murders and stuff like that. So all that stuff bothers me. So typically, it's very long-winded. I prefer movies that are lighthearted, romantic comedies, stuff like that. So why am I watching Game of Thrones? Why do I love it so much? Why am I obsessed with it and with its characters? I think it's because I know it was from such a long time ago. It's kind of like a medieval type setting. I love the costumes, the accents, the background. The storyline is just fascinating. I don't know how Mr. Martin, who is the author of the book series, came up with it's just intense. It was really hard to keep up with the storylines. There's so many different storylines going on at once. So we binge watched that, and we are impatiently waiting for the final season to air. And there will be Game of Thrones colorways coming out the next time that we dye yarn. I'm just letting you know that now. I'm very excited about that. So, and then we also started re-binging the Walking Dead series. So we started watching that when it first came out. And then once the seasons progressed, I want to say, I don't remember what season we got up to, and I don't want to give you spoilers, but it became, Negan was involved, and it became more about people fighting each other than the walkers and survival. So we just stopped watching it, but we wanted to get back into it and then finish the series, because the next season is airing soon for that as well. So we started at season 1, episode 1, and now we're on to season 2. So that's kind of like our mini date nights without having to leave the house. We have a little snack, and we just sit there next to each other and snuggle and binge watch our favorite series. So that's exciting. We also watched The Art of Tidying Up with Marie Kondo, I think. I don't know if that's her last name. She has the KonMari method. So I heard wonderful things. I bought the book, I read the book, and then I watched her show on Netflix, and my husband Jason tuned in from the kitchen while I was watching and was like, this is great, because he's definitely a less is more kind of guy, and I tend to thrive on clutter in the past. I thought I liked tons of little knickknacks around my house, and I don't know, I always, even with craft items, like supplies, I tend to save them thinking that I might need them one day. And years have passed since I've touched that item. So I say we because I kind of helped him filter things out, but he was doing all the physical labor since I can't. Started upstairs in our house with all of our clothes and did what, Marie recommends, looking at each item one by one and determining if it brings us joy. And if not, you say thank you and put it in the donation pile. So we went through the art room, everybody's bedrooms and closets, our books, and then we came downstairs into the kitchen and the dining room and the living room and our music/reading room, and the mud room with all the cupboards that we have. And we still have to go down to the basement, which is a finished area where our boys have all their toys and where we have storage and things like that. And we still have to do my craft room. So far, only with half of the house done, we have an entire wall from floor to ceiling of boxes and bags that we're donating to the Veterans Association. and that feels really good. We have a small stack of things that we're going to try to sell in our summer garage sale, and the rest we're donating. So we're loving the fresh space, especially in the new year. I love New Year's. It's just so new and just a chance to, I know you can start over or change your ways during the year, but I feel more, it's a good date. The first of a new year, it's a new start. I just feel like this year I want to be clutter free. I feel less anxiety when my house is clean, and it stays that way because we don't have as many things that we don't need, and we use the things that we have because we can see them and access them easily. So it feels really good. And this year this is my year of saying no. I'm a huge people pleaser, and that can be exhausting. And this is my year to start saying no to things that I don't want to do or be a part of or anything like that. I can't be so afraid to let other people down if I'm letting myself down in the process. I'm going to focus on relationships that are growing and thriving, friendships that are growing. That's where I'm going to put my energy, into my family, into my friends, and less energy into the people who don't necessarily want a friendship with me. So that's kind of where I stand for this year. And yeah, I'm really excited right now. I'm feeling re-energized, just kind of like a new fresh start. And I'm just thankful. I'm thankful for the family and the friends that I have, and I'm thankful that I get to be home and do what I love in the comfort of our own home, that I have 2 healthy children and a wonderful supportive husband. I know so many people don't have that. So as I'm recording, I just got a text from my aunt that said, "I love you so much, and it was lovely to see you." It's funny. And I'm thankful for our health. Things have definitely been challenging for me, and I try not to complain a lot. But yeah. In July, I'll have my next checkup in New York City to check on the tumor size. But everything else is status quo. And social media is something that I'm going to take a step back from. And it's not saying that I'm not going to be on there anymore, not by any means, but I'm going to cut back. When I was diagnosed with cancer back in the beginning of 2015, I was heavily on Facebook, posting every day, scrolling through constantly, and it gave me anxiety then. It was a lot. I love the connections that you can make with family and friends, people you haven't seen since high school. You can look at pictures of their children and their families, but there's a lot of people trying to paint their lives as perfect, or people who complain about every little thing, who talk about their bank accounts, and just, I don't know, a lot of it bothered me. And then when I was diagnosed, I had a lot of people, because my family and friends threw a benefit for me to help pay for the medical bills. And there were a lot of people requesting to be my friend who I had no idea who they were. And they'd sent me a message saying, I'm coming to your benefit, because there were flyers everywhere to, advertise this benefit. And so I felt bad saying no. So I accepted them. And then my feed eventually just became filled with pictures and posts from people I had no idea who they were. So I just deleted the app, and I was not on Facebook for years. I recently, well, not recently, probably about a year ago, downloaded it again, and I only really go on there for certain groups. We have a family group on there where we share things, just families allowed to see it and post. That's really it. Once in a while I'll take a quick scroll through, but I really don't, I'm not that active there. Then I open the Adelaide Cottage Yarns Facebook group, so I go on there occasionally too. So Instagram has been my knitting getaway. I go on there and I see these beautiful handmade items, this beautiful yarn. It's a way for me to interact with like-minded people. I absolutely love the friendships that I have made through Instagram and through knitting podcasts. But I find that in the beginning, when I was going through cancer, I hated my phone. I didn't want my children to remember me with a phone in front of my face. I didn't want them to feel like when they talked to me, they were inconveniencing me in any way because I was doing something on my phone. I wanted every moment to be about them. And so I just stopped going on social media. And now I feel like it's starting to slowly creep back into those old habits. And I'm not as productive as I used to be. And I just want to spend more time with my family, with my friends, and making things. Those are the things that feed my soul. And although I love to see Instagram pictures and Instagram stories, and I love watching videos on YouTube, I'm still going to do that, but I'm limiting myself. I downloaded an app called Freedom, where you can set limits, time limits, on anything that you have on your computer. Social media accounts, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Pinterest, games that you have. You can set it so that you can have a certain amount of time. So you can set a timer on there where you get, let's say, 30 minutes and then it shuts it down. Or you can set it so that only certain time slots during each day or certain days. And so what I decided to do was give myself an hour a day on social media, whether that be YouTube, Instagram, whatever, an hour total. And that is going to be either in the morning before my children wake up or at night when they go to bed. And it's going to be Monday through Friday. The weekends, which was an idea from a fellow maker and friend. She tried not being on social media on the weekends, and it was very beneficial for her too. So I'm going to try that. Weekends, social media free, and during the week it's going to be 1 hour a day. And I'm going to see how that works, because over this past weekend I didn't go on social media except once, I think. And I got so much done. I got the quilt finished. I got my second sock finished. I had spent so much time with my family, and that's really what life is about. So I'm going to encourage all of you to do the same if you're feeling the same way that I am, that social media it's a rabbit hole. It's a wonderful way to connect, but it can also be a rabbit hole if you don't set time limits. And it can affect your family and your productivity, and I just don't want a phone in my hand all the time. That's not what life is about for me. So you may be seeing less of me on social media. I am definitely going to be recording weekly. I'm trying for weekly podcasts because it just takes about a half an hour of my time. And it's still my way to connect with all of you and interact in the comments and things like that. So I'm going to try this out and see how it works. But if you try it out too, let me know. Let me know if you download that app. I know there's a few apps out there. You don't even need an app. Just set a timer on your phone, maybe, for 30 minutes or 45 minutes to an hour, whatever you choose, to be social media free and be present and live in the moment, because I keep reminding myself how important that was when I was facing my own death. And life gets in the way and you kind of get caught up in the old habits. And then I sat back and I'm like, wait a minute, this is worse than it was before, and I need to do something about it. And over the weekend, I did not miss social media at all, not one bit. I got so much done, and I spent so much quality time with those that I love. So yeah, enough babbling. If you stuck out this far to listen to me babble, thank you. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope that you got something out of it. And I did post on Instagram early last week, for anyone who wants to ask me a question. I'm going to do a question and answer video very soon, so I have quite a few of them written down from Instagram. But if you have any questions for me, whether it's personal, whether it's about knitting or yarn dyeing, feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I will compile a list, and maybe the next episode will be a question and answer video. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're all doing well, and I'll see you next time.